Mr. P. Mr. P has died. These guys saw an explosion up here. Mr. P, just like the crows used to. Wow. So, tragically, Mr. P met his demise yesterday. Now, he died by landing on the electricity line here. He must have connected 2 wires with his wings. It's a bit gruesome, but he basically died very quickly. And there was a huge explosion, and they saw fireworks sort of around the end of the pole, and the electricity cut off. When we went up there, we found Mr. P, who has been my favourite animal at this farm and has been quite the character over the years, and I'm sure many of the people that have been here will be sad to know that he's gone. Now this line they buried, it used to come to a post right here, and you would hear little cracks, and you would come and find little piles of crows. There would be a pile of crows sitting on the floor here. But it was quite some different bang, and I think he connected up with 2 of the electric lines. Now, I gotta say, I'm totally gutted, because I was more fond of Mr. P than any other creature that's walked on this farm. And so we're giving him a special burial today, and I'm really sad. Mr. P was such a character. He lived out wild in the winters, and he's a very curious bird that spent a lot of time with the poultry up in the fields. He would always come up in the morning as a ritual to come and see the hens, and then walk back down at night. And since the very first night that we brought him to the farm and let him out, he would sleep in a great oak tree outside the house, outside my daughter's window. And they're just inquisitive birds. They're really always peeping around the corner and seeing what's going on inside. And he's been a major part of the life on the farm for a long time. So I'm really sad. I'm also, however tragic that is, I'd prefer that he went out in his own style and got eaten by a wolf or run over by a car or something. So yeah. But it feels very different without having his characteristic calls in the morning. This is the time of year when he would be making his calls, arching his head back, and little rings of fog coming out of his mouth as he made his calls. And yeah, I really love peacocks. They're such a charming thing, and it's not going to be the same again here. Harvesting back date.
Yeah. Masking tape and labels, and just over here. And you can use.
Broccoli going out. Very nice. Nice to add some broccoli. Nice kohlrabies we did as a late season crop. More tomatoes. Lots of tomatoes. More hackerai. Things looking nice. Okay, exciting. We have a split AC unit. So, one of our market garden students, Christian, who I met in Thailand over a decade ago, he said, after I talked about this on the video before, that he used this split unit and they come with quick release already filled pipes. This is a quick connect pipe that's already got the gas in it, so you can connect it up yourself. Therefore, a split unit works. So we got this in Europe. It's about 1,200 euros, but it is 24 BTU, 24,000 BTU. It's an LG unit, high quality unit. So this is what we're doing as a project very soon, to make a split AC cookbook powered chiller that should get us down to 2 or 3 degrees, with even having a big chiller 3 meters by 2.5 by 2 meters. So that's going to be a super exciting project we'll tell you about and document as we go. Ooh, beautiful. This is a purple mitsuna, Miss America. It's looking very nice. No flea beetles. So that time of year's arrived when we can get back into micro brassicas. Very nice. First time we've got medlars. Little, and they're no good to eat till they've bletted, but they're a little small this year. But little tree we've done from seed.
My toe, don't I?
Okay. So we had a nice visit from Farmer's Friends with Jonathan and his wife and Nick and his wife, who were making a little documentary about the farm, and they're on a little European tour looking at people that use their tools and making little case studies of farmers that are working with their stuff. And I highly recommend their company. I'm super happy to help promote them. We use the quick cut greens harvester on a weekly basis, and they actually originated the Caterpillar tunnel kits. Maybe they've been around before previously, but they came up with the kit designs, and we basically adapted some of the components that we saw worked really well with their design and just redesigned them using standardized parts here, as well as getting us some of the parts machined in the UK. But really nice to have those folks at the farm, really sweet people, and they're on an amazing sounding trip all the way down through to the south of Europe and even to Israel before they go back to the States. So we're getting down to the last rotations now, so pulling out beds. There's some dills come out and some of the brassicas coming out, just to get the last hopeful crops of Asian greens and any leafy salads, because it's basically could be frosty in 2.5 weeks from now. Hey Samson. So we're on our way back up to, we're going to make our way through the riparian. We like to crash graze at this time, let the animals take a little bit of tree fodder, bit of bark for minerals. Then we're going to go up through top field to take behind the, front field to take up behind where the turkeys haven't been, there's just not enough turkeys to really take the forage down. Then it's back into nut field for a slow pass through there as the grass will start to go into dormancy. So, batch of broilers out in the field. And this is the latest we've ever got broilers out into the field. Now the birds come out at 3 weeks like normal, but typically if we're doing 6 batches of 1,000 birds, we'll start, first birds come to the farm sometime in April, get out in early May, and then we'll have been finishing up the season pretty soon from now. But this is the latest we got them out. We're doing half of them in the roller pens, half of them in the Samson inspired pens, to see how those go. But they seem happy for now. everything's going good, but the weather's there's been a bit of a resurgence of summer. The weather's been pretty warm, 23, 24 degrees recently, but it could turn pretty bad soon. It's likely that we'll have frost in, easily in mid-September. That's pretty common. So curious how these birds will do, and we'll follow them along in future videos to see how they're doing. But nice to have birds. We're up in Nutfield this time. Different assemblies of pecan and walnuts and chestnut up in this field. A lot of trees doing really well. So we've had a very wet spell the week up to the course, followed by some glorious weather. We seem to always be quite lucky when we have people here. Pond is now full again. It was drying up a bit in the previous weeks. It's looking very nice in here. A lot of dragonflies, a lot of inflow. So the water's turning over every 48 hours. A lot of frogs, water voles, and there's my trout. Every time I come here I get saluted by the brown trout. We'll see if another surfacing occurs. Some beautiful growth on the different pond plants now. We've had some flowering lilies. We had about 7 wild ducks that were coming daily and spending most of the day on the pond, but Saku the dog has been giving them grief, and so haven't seen them for a little while now. But amazing it's a beautiful, the red lilies there coming into flower. Very nice. Look at the growth of some of these alders. These are going to be pruned heavily in the winter to put in the grapes, but just incredible. That's grown from an 80 centimeter whip just a few years ago. And these trees are 6 or 8 meters tall. So I'll be coming through here and really pruning up hard just to leave about 40% of the tree as a crown so that we can come in and put grapevines on. Here's a grape outside that's actually putting on, or trying to put on grapes. And that's my goal with all of the grapes that we made the root trainers for, is have them growing up into alders, which are fixing nitrogen for them. A lot of cones on these this year. So I'm waiting for the winter really to come along and do some work with taking this down. It'll let a lot more light into here at the same time. Okay, that's it for me today and this big gaggle of hungry hens. Coming up to feeding time for them. Thanks so much for watching our videos, folks. I'll be back in tune with putting up regular content as we get back into our internship program. It's not quite so busy here at the farm. In the meantime, you can check out our online training. So low cost, very comprehensive and very far-reaching online regenerative agriculture training. You can find out about that in the links below, along with our merchandise, t-shirts and jumpers, things like that. If you want to support us in that way and have some beautiful t-shirts. And it's great to share some of the farms that we love around the world, and that's one way you can help support us and have a nice t-shirt at the same time. So you find that in the links below, and look forward to giving you updates on the book soon. I've been working on it in any spare moments I can, and I'm getting some new illustrations done, perhaps with one of the people here who's a really gifted illustrator, and I'm a third of the way through the editing, so I'm hoping that we'll still have it out before Christmas, and I'm really looking forward to launching the crowdfunder to get the funds to get this book into print. So more about that as we progress a bit further. See you in a video soon.